Let me get the chat boards up here and make sure that we are live and that the sound is rocking and rolling. Skip some ads here. All right, that looks good. To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elster's Rifles Reloading. And once again, on vacation here, and I'm not really bored. I'm just trying to get some stuff done. And matter of fact, I tried to go shoot my 6.5 Mega Ma-10 and 6.5 Creedmoor. And just to give you a close up and personal view here and clip you out. This is my Mega Ma-10. I've had this for a while now, probably about 4 or 5 years. You know, it's got all the bells and whistles, and I can't touch a firearm during a live event, but this isn't real. This is a picture, so don't freak out, YT. But this has a 22-inch Krieger barrel. I believe it's a 1 in 8 twist, 6.5 Creedmoor with a blended brake. This was done at Krieger. All this gunsmith work, everything from scratch, everything you see here was built at Krieger. This has the Mega Ma-10 billet, aluminum upper and lower, which comes with the handguard. And I'm actually rocking the Duramags on this right now. I just got those in. And in 6.5 Creedmoor, hopefully that gives me a little more leeway in regards to seating out that bullet depth. But this literally has all the bells and whistles. Low mass JP bolt carrier group. It's got the silent capture system from JP, a Geisley SSAE trigger that's finally adjusted, along with the silent capture system on the spring. I can't remember what spring I have on that, but I think it was a red off the top of my memory. Believe it or not, I've yet to shoot this with that new silent capture system from JP. But I got all ambidextrous controls in regards to the magazine release, the safety, you name it. All ambidextrous, and right now I'm rocking that Arkin optics on there with a Bobro 34mm one-piece QD mount. It's probably one of the best QD mounts that money can buy. And yeah, it's pretty spectacular AR. It's about as good as it gets, especially for a custom-made rig. And I went to go shoot this the other day, and I realized I didn't have any frickin' ammo for it. And I'm like, what the hell? That is hard to believe. But yeah, pretty spectacular firearm. Matter of fact, this is the Vortex. I'm sorry, my RRA 223 with a wild chamber, actually. Rock River Arms. Matter of fact, you guys probably just seen this in the latest video series with the Vortex Venom 5-25 scope, and I'm rocking the F3R Arms one-piece mount on that. Also has 20 minutes of angle built into the mount. But you know what? Like I said, I went to go run into my ready for the range cabinet here, and I got all my ammo that's preloaded up here, locked away, safe storage. The kids can't get into it. And I had no freaking ammo in there. And I'm like, what in God's green earth is going on? Am I sick or something on vacation? Well, we got to rectify that. And that's what I'm doing. So I figured I'd have you join me. And let me see who's jumping into the reloading room. If you're new to the game, jump into the chat room, say hello, especially if you're new. Let me know that you are just starting out. If you have any questions, I don't care if it's a 6.5 Creedmoor or, you know, ARs, bolt actions, I don't care. I'll try my best to answer that. But I got to get some ammo going here. So, especially fire form brass. I don't know if you guys happen to watch the last live series. Here's reloading for my 6.5 Grendel. But really nothing's different other than just the cartridge. Literally everything is the same in regards to doing this, but I figured, what the hell, have you guys join me. We could chat, especially if you got any questions. I got 500 pieces here of some 6.5 Creedmoor Starline brass, trying to clip you guys out of here. And I got this off Brownells with a promo code for next to nothing. And I've yet to dabble into this. Matter of fact, I've been shooting crappy Hornady brass out of this 6.5 Mega Ma 10. And, you know, I started to check out the headspace on this, and I noticed that the headspace on this brass is well south of what this fire form's at anyways. It's not even remotely close, within 3 to 4 thousandths of an inch. It's actually going to be more like 6 thousandths of an inch, 7 thousandths of an inch. So I need to get some fire form here. And I was actually quite pleasantly surprised with how consistent this Starline brass is in regards to its headspace. Brand new. I've yet to touch this. And so I went and swapped out my headspace bushing. This is for the Hornady, this let me pop this out of here for you. So this is the C375 headspace bushing. Before, I had the headspace bushing in there for 6.5 Grendel. Obviously, this is a whole different cartridge. We are measuring from the base of the brass to the datum line. I might have touched base with that already with most of you guys, especially if you're new. And I've pulled out one piece after another, and no joke, I think I pulled out well over 100 pieces here. And I am not exaggerating when I say every single piece here in the middle that's in the shape of a triangle was, let me just double check that, was within 1.547. So 1.547 to less than 1,000th of an inch of that. Like literally every single piece here is that consistent, within less than 1,000th of an inch. I mean, every single piece here. 547, 547. I mean, it doesn't get any more consistent than that. And I tell you, that Starline brass is very, very consistent. And I mentioned this before in the other live series about resizing brand new brass. Matter of fact, I'm going to pluck out one piece right here. Here's another piece. They got dented case mouth openings, and that's why you need 1.547. Literally every single piece here is 1.547, or maybe just a smidge under 547. I'm going to try and find one if I can without boring the piss out of you guys. And I literally can't. That's how consistent all of this is. And I couldn't find anything well over 100 pieces of north of 1.547. I did find a few pieces that were underneath that. I did find a few pieces that were 1.5465. So you're talking less than 1,000 inch. You know, and like I said, a massive bang for your buck brass here. Man, it's just super, super consistent. And that's why I love the Starline brass. I literally measured every single one of these pieces, and they are just spot on. And I tried to find one that had an exaggerated headspace over 547. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. And I wanted to find something that was something like 548, maybe 5485, just so when I'm resizing this brass, like I said, you should always resize that brass, because sometimes the case mouth openings might be a little dented. Matter of fact, here's a good example. It might be hard to see this in a live stream because this damn thing won't focus during a live stream, but there's a good solid, you can't see the dent, but you can partially see it. But this way, it's not, that circle, that round case mouth opening is not concentric. And that would definitely scratch, mar, damage that copper jack of that bolt when you go to seat it. And I don't know, like I said, you're always going to want to resize that brass. So I'm going to grab one of these. Here's one here, actually, that's 5465. So like I said, less than 1/1000 of an inch consistency on all these pieces of brass. I could not find one that was over or under. So that's pretty freaking awesome. So anyways, I'm going to grab at least 2 here. That's 547. I wish I could find one that's a little bit more, but I can't. And let me just double check who's in the reloading room here. So Doug B saying evening. James Spenlove, that's an awesome name, saying good evening. MTTOP2VT, that's an awesome name. I have some 6.5 brass in the block right now. That's awesome. James Spenlove saying, received my blocks as of today. Tried some 556, 6.5 Creedmoor, 243 and 338 LM, Lapua. Is your 6 cover saying he's got his blocks. That's awesome. Matter of fact, I sent Is your 6 covered 2 blocks, and I threw Rick's in there for a good measure. So 3 total blocks sent to his house. And so he's got 3 total blocks. And Doug B saying, hey, Rick. So yeah, super consistent here. Matter of fact, I'm going to load up 50 total pieces here. So I'm actually going to load up this block. I got this block wide open. I don't have this adjusted because I don't need it to have adjusted. I'm just trying to count brass here. So I'm going to load this up here quick. And matter of fact, I just uploaded a video to the EP Integrations YouTube channel. Kind of an updated video on the EP Integrations lockdown reloading block that can adjust in under a second on pretty much any casing out there, just under 223 and just a tad over 375 shy tack. And to be honest with you, there's a reason why we didn't get this to go up to 50 BMG, because obviously the block size would have been ridiculous. But in the precision world, people really are not reloading 50 BMG. I know the EP 2.0 annealer can anneal anything from 300 blackout to 50 BMG, and that's for good reasons, because I know a lot of people want to anneal that. When it comes to the precision world, this is kind of a precision product here. $124 shipped to the 50 states and a flat rate shipping. And like I said, I got 50 loaded up here. I got well over another 50 pieces here, and all these were with their headspace consistently less than 1/1000th of an inch, and that's why I'm buying the Starline brass. And I get this just a smidgen bit more than Horny brass, which is kind of crap in my opinion. So I can get these set off to the side here, and matter of fact, I'm going to pluck out a couple of these. I know these are kind of on the high end, these are kind of the low end, but I got 500 pieces waiting to get resized. So for those guys out there that just received those EP lockdown reloading blocks, I hope you're enjoying them, because I know I do. And for those that haven't seen this yet, I'll kind of just touch base with this. I don't want to completely bore you with this, because I know some of you guys have already seen this, but if you haven't, it's the EP lockdown reloading block that can adjust in, no joke, 1 second or less on any casing just under 223 and just a tad bit over 375 shy tack. And it is that awesome. If you want, you can lock this down really tight. I mean, look at that. Try to do that with any other block. Or I could feather this off ever so slightly. It literally takes less than a second to do that. And I could easily take these pieces in and out of this block. So pretty freaking awesome. So if I was dropping powder, I'd probably lock this down, drop my powder, and then as I'm about to pull this out to see bullets, I probably feather this off. That's usually what I have been doing as of late. So like I said, if I'm dropping powder, usually I'm locking this down. I don't want these to tip or move or whatnot. I don't want to bump this and powder go spraying all over the place. And just like before, like I said, once I get all my powder drop, I verify all my levels. I feather this off ever so slightly. And then I can easily remove those casings full of powder. As of right now, I'm just resizing this brand new brass, mostly just to make sure I got consistent neck tension. I'm probably going to feather this off generously. I'm not totally concerned about powder spilling out, but like I said, if you're dropping powder, in my opinion, lock this down. And what I usually do is grab these two knurled knobs here with these two fingers here. With my third finger, I pull that tension tight on the middle plate and I lock this down. And there's good reason why we put rubber feet on here. These come optional. You can put them on if you want. If you don't put them on. That's fine. But we do give you these self-adhesive rubber feet. I would recommend putting them on, especially if you got like something like a kitchen countertop like this. This does not move, especially with the weight of the aluminum and that rubber feet. Once you lock that casings down, it's not going anywhere. It is good to go. So I'm going to get this stuff lubed up here. I'm just going to kind of double check your comments. Move this off to the side. I'm going to grab my Q-tips, Imperial case wax, and a Hardy one-shot. I'm going to get some water. Man, I've been cranking out the videos as of late. Dog B saying, how much is your loading block? And I believe it just answered that. It's $124 shipped to the 50 states, not lower 48s. We're using a flat rate envelope. And for $124, it's a very premium all aluminums, 6061, 3 total machined plates, machined, and it takes a lot of machine work to get this block done. And the prices of materials are definitely going up. And you know, like I said, a lot of people are willing to spend well north of $1,000 for an Area 419 zero press, well over $1,000 for something like an FX 120i. Obviously, well over $1,000 for an amp. You know, I would consider this in that same realm of a premium product for the precision reloader. And even if you're not a precision loader, I tell you, I'm so sick of trying to hunt down any type of ammo block. I don't need to do that anymore. It's just there. It works. It's heavy. I can lock it down. I can feather it off. It's just an amazing product. So last going Andy is saying evening, and Michael Hartnick saying good evening, everyone. So I am going to get this lubed up. And I'm just going to double check on a couple of these. Matter of fact, I'm going to loosen this up and double check this headspace. So once again, I'm make sure this is zeroed out. Matter of fact, I always recommend double checking your calipers. Make sure that your battery's not going dead. I can't tell you how many times I have caught my battery going dead. I know this one piece of brass is exactly 1.750, and that is exactly what it is. 1.750. So that looks good. Set that off to the side. Make sure I drop my headspace gauge on the floor while I'm doing a live event. At least you know it's live. And we are going to get this sized up. Now, the headspace that my Mega Ma 10 6.5 Creedmoor fires at is, I would say, well north of this headspace, but put it this way, it's not within 3/1000ths or 4/1000ths of an inch. It's actually above that by roughly 6, pushing almost 7/1000ths of an inch. So I'm not totally concerned about bumping headspace right now. I'm more concerned about getting consistent headspace all across the board, which already are. I don't have to worry about that. But I always recommend resizing new brass just for consistent neck tension, which I kind of mentioned in the previous live series for that 6.5 Grendel. And I figured I'd have you guys join me on this ride, especially while I am on vacation. If I can get this anvil headspace bushing lined up, I'm doing really good. So making sure that this zeroes out correctly, just double checking this a few times. So we are good. Just gonna double check a few of these pieces. Probably what I'm gonna do, it's again, 547, 547. Super, super consistent. What I'm probably going to do is bump all this brass. I'm going to use these two pieces I just pulled out here until I see the headspace move from 547 to 5465. Once I see that, I know that the headspace is starting to move. I might back it off ever so slightly and then resize all this brass. Like I said, not so much for consistent headspace. It's already done. I'm not even remotely close to Fireform headspace anyways. It's more for just consistent neck tension. And I got my dogs barking upstairs, so you know it's live. So I am going to loosen up this block, open this mouth completely open. I got my popcorn bowl here. I know some of you guys have already seen this, but this is just part of the fun. So I'm going to dump that in there, set my lockdown reloading block off to the side. I'm going to grab my Imperial case wax here. I'm going to get the smallest dab of case wax on my finger. Not a lot, doesn't take a lot, something like that. I'm going to spread it on the inside of my palm. I use Hornady one-shot case lube. Make sure you shake this up really good. Make sure you shake this like is your six covered on a lonely night. Like I said, if you're out there watching, got any questions on reloading, jump in the chat room and say hello. Just go, hey, I'm new, haven't bought my equipment yet. I got some questions and I'll try my best to answer them. Right now we are resizing a brand new 6.5 Creedmoor brass for my 6.5 Mega Ma 10. All right, let me get you guys up close and personal here. So what I like to do, spray down my hand, spray down the brass. Now I just dust it, I don't soak it. Just something like that, and I work that brass. Kind of run it between my fingers. Spray down my hand, lightly dust the brass. Usually do this like maybe 3 or 4 times, and it is just like a cooking show. You're exactly right, Justin. And about one more time, and you can over lube your brass. It can be just like a really lonely night at Is Your Six Covered's house with too much lube, and you definitely don't want to over lube your brass. If you do, you're going to get hydraulic dimpling on your brass. You'll see dents in the side of the body, up in the neck. If you see any dents after you resize, that means that you definitely over lubed the brass. Like I see, I'm not just lightly dusting it. And that is about it. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And what I like to do is just like let this air dry just a little bit. You don't want to resize freshly lubed brass, especially if you're using the spray style Hornady one-shot case lube. Get this tripod out of the way. Clean this off my hands. I always suggest trying to get most of that lube off your hands. You don't want to get too much lube on your calipers. If you get too much lube on your calipers, they can start to incorrectly read your measurements. So Josh is saying toss with some olive oil, salt, and pepper to taste. Yeah, it's just like a popcorn bowl. And let me grab some water here, and we're going to get this sized. And I have the Hornady full-length resizing die in here. usually will put a piece of brass in here so I don't completely poke my eye out. I've come so close to bringing my head down onto this freaking pin. One of these days, I'm gonna take that damn thing right in the eye. So I'm screwing this down until I touch the shell plate, and usually I back this off roughly about 3/4 of a turn. Hopefully I don't overshoot this. I guess we'll find out. Grab my calipers here, and I'm going to grab my first piece of brass. Now these two pieces have not been lubed. They were not in the popcorn bowl. And I know you guys have seen this before, but I'll do it again. I like to do what's called condition the die. I want to get a nice layer of Imperial case wax inside that full-length resizing die. And let me get this angle down here more. And what I like to do is with that little bit of lube, it doesn't take a lot. I just like to run this over this one piece of brass. Let's get a little bit more. And as I'm doing this, I'm getting some of the other Imperial case wax off of this onto my other fingers here. I like to try and keep this just on the tip of my fingers on my two hands. So when I'm using my calipers, that lube's not getting all over my calipers. So that's pretty good. I'm going to grab a Q-tip here, and I'm going to put the slightest amount of Imperial case wax on this. Not a huge glob of it. Doesn't take much. Matter of fact, you can't even see it on the end of that Q-tip. I'm going to run that inside the case mouth of at least the first piece here. So I'm going to set that off to the side, and I am going to re-verify this headspace. And once again, this is 1.547. And I'm going to adjust this die down until I see that headspace move. No joke, less than 1/1000 of an inch. So it says 5.465. So hopefully I don't overshoot this. I should be pretty good. I guess we'll find out. So I'm going to resize this one piece here. I highly doubt this is going to move. And I'm going to keep on screwing this die down until I see this move, and it hasn't moved yet. Still 5.47. Actually, it says 5.465. Might have just bumped that headspace just enough. That's why I grabbed two pieces. This one's, let's double check here. Zeroed out. So this one is 5.465. Let me see if I can grab one here. That's exactly, make sure I lube this one up before it gets stuck in my die. You grab one here that I know for a fact is 5.47. Just want to see that physical headspace move. So here's 5.47, 5.465 if I'm spinning it. You want to spin that brass in your headspace bushing to get a consistent reading. I suppose I won't find one here now. So 5.47, 5.4765. And that is seriously how consistent this is. So here's a 5.47. Try running this through, see if it moves that headspace. And you can see when I'm running this press ram at the very bottom of the stroke. Matter of fact, let me back you up here so you can see that. I'm not pressing down with this on force. The second it stops, this part of the up part of the press, these two buttons here come in contact with the linkage, I stop. I don't press down on this. I found that that gives very consistent headspace bumps. And that did not bump that headspace. Let me screw this down ever so slightly. Just bottoms out. I don't put any pressure at the bottom. Let's see if that moved that headspace. So not yet. And the second I see the headspace start to move, I'm going to stop, and that's right there. So right there at 5.465, less than 1/1000th of an inch as I spin that. So I'm going to try and grab another piece here, see if I can replicate that. So that's 5.465. 6.5. So this is 5.47. So 5.47. All the way to the bottom, stops. Don't push down on it. And right there, 5.465. So I'm going to try one more piece here, then I'm just going to give her hell more doing this to prove a point. So 5.47. Slowly going down, hits the bottom. I don't push down. Back that off. I don't yank it back up too. Yanking that back up can pull that. So 5.465. Perfect. And that's what you call consistent headspace bumps. So at this point, I'm just going to give her hell. I'm just going to work my way through this. I could lock this down if that was my headspace, but once again, this is brand new brass. This hasn't been fire formed yet. This needs to fire form, no joke, about 6 to 7 thousandths of an inch, and then I'm going to bump this back 3 thousandths of an inch from fire form. So I'm not locking this down. Once I get some good solid fire form brass that has been custom expanded and fire formed from a particular chamber, then I will lock this locking ring down. So at this point, I can just kind of give her hell and work my way through this brass. This is where I got to make sure I don't bump or turn this die. So set it and forget it type of thing. So I'm going to move my calipers out of the way, Imperial case wax, grab my popcorn bowl. It actually sits really well in my bad brass bin. And at this point, you want to make sure you baby those case mouth openings. You're not denting those case mouth openings. So let me just double check some of your comments here. And Justin D. Jack, matter of fact, I just did a live event grilling out while I was talking about reloading. So I guess I suppose you could consider this somewhat of a reloading channel. So Jeff Binstat is saying, I'm buying a Forster coax, just beginning to start reloading on my own. Would you recommend that I buy it from Forster or a respectable company for a few bucks less? Matter of fact, I just posted a deal on my Facebook page on I believe Brownells. They might still be in stock. I believe that was about a week ago when I posted that. At that time, they were in stock on the Forster Coax Press. They are actually very hard to get. If you can get them, jump on it, especially if it's at a good deal. I would say a good deal is roughly in the $340 to pushing $400 mark, roughly, give or take. And, you know, I actually had a promo code on there for the Forster Coax Press on Brownells with promo code shipped. I think it was less than $360, believe it or not, which is pretty freaking amazing. So I definitely check out my Facebook page. Matter of fact, when I get done being live here, I'm going to double check that I have that. So yeah, let's just keep on going here. I'm going to keep on resizing this and check out my Facebook page for that deal. Did I just grab that out of this part? That's already headspace. Oh, jeez Louise. Anyways, let's keep on going here. So yeah, and Abigail Finnegan saying, hey y'all, how you doing? Doug B saying, hi, how you doing? So I'm going to keep on rocking and rolling here. Like I said, check out EP Integrations, www.epintegrations.com. We got those lockdown reloading blocks on there for sale as we speak, boxed up, shipped, and ready to rock and roll. We already sent out quite a few of them actually. So, and also not only the EP Integrations lockdown reloading block, but we also have the EP 2.0 annealer. Like I said, that can anneal from 300 blackout to 50 BMG without having to add or remove any parts. And we got an insane amount of parts for the annealer. And not only that, but we have a insane amount of them already boxed up, ready to rock and roll. So, but yeah, let's finish up these other 50 pieces here while we are live. And we'll wrap this up, and I'll get this into the Frankfurt Arsenal wet stainless steel tumbler. And we'll clean this up, and we'll get this lube off this new Starline brass. So I get some Fireform ammunition here for my Mega Mod 10 at 6.5 Creedmoor. So, all right, so let's keep on going here, about halfway through. And I'm just doing consistent strokes here as I come down. I'm not going too fast. I kind of slow down at the bottom. When that linkages hits the press, I stop. I don't put any excessive force at the bottom. Now, if I was to press down on this really, really hard with excessive force, I guarantee you I will overshoot that headspace. No joke, I will probably overshoot that, probably, you know, 3 to 4 thousandths of an inch. And that's where a lot of guys, especially when they're first starting to reload for the first time, they're getting headspace bumps all over the place. It's because they're more times than not, they're not running their press handle correctly. And it doesn't matter if it's the Forster coax press or a Dillon or Hornady L&L press, whatever you're rock and rolling, a Lee press, Reading turret press. If you are running that press handle not consistent every time, you're going to get headspace bumps all over the place. And when I come down, I stop. There's no overcam on at least a Forster coax press. Some presses do have an overcam, like the Hornady L&L press. I definitely have an overcam on that. You actually feel that overcam, and when I get through that overcam and it stops at the bottom of the overcam, that's when I stop the pressing. And some presses like to be manhandled. They like that excessive push at the bottom of the stroke handle. That's just where you need to figure out that particular press. You got to just make those measurements on that brass before you size it, measure that brass after you size it, and just see how consistent your headspace bumps are. And the reason why you want consistent headspace bumps across the board, because you want this brass to expand consistently. With a consistent expansion on your brass and your headspace, that means you're going to get consistent velocities. And if one piece of brass has to only expand roughly 2 to 3 thousandths of an inch, and the next piece of brass, you overshot that headspace, say 6 to 7 thousandths of an inch, you're literally talking a 5 thousandths of an inch difference. That's how much more time that brass needs to expand and seal off into that chamber. And that one piece of brass that has more headspace, you're going to get some gas that leaks around the brass and out through the chamber in comparison to the one before that. And if you have very, very excessive headspace, you're not using a headspace gauge of some sort, and you're just willy-nilly screwing this down and doing the quarter turn thing without actually measuring that headspace, you could very well be well over 10 thousandths of an inch headspace bump, because you're just not measuring it. The good saying goes, you don't know because you just don't know. And if you're not measuring the headspace, you truly don't know what the headspace is, and you're just doing like the, oh, I just put a black mark on my shoulder and see if it rubs off type of thing. Yeah, that might work great, but you truly don't know how much you're bumping the headspace. And that's just playing guesswork at best. So, yeah, we got 5 more pieces here. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to quick double check this headspace. So this is 5465 before I resized it. So I'm going to run this through my press, and still 5465. So it hasn't moved one bit. So that's good. You know, if that came up like 5455, that means I'm not, either one, not getting consistent headspace bumps, or I'm not running that press handle correctly. So this is 5465. You see if I got 3 more pieces down here. All right. Let me measure this next piece. This is still 5465. Let me see if I can find one here that's 547. I got 2 more pieces. Let's see if one's 547. This one's 547. Or as I spin it, it's 5465. So make sure you're spinning that brass and that headspace bushing. So 5465, so that's good. Oh, already resized that one. So let's see if this one's 547. So this one's 547 as I spin this. So 547. So let's bump this back here and see if that moved to 5465. And right there, 5465. And that's how it's done, my friends. That's 50 pieces, all consistently bumped. I guarantee less than 1/1000th of an inch. And I'm going to move you over here to the wet stainless steel tumbler. And I think I'm good on your comments here, so let me move you over here. And let me get this off to the side. And I'm gonna get some hot water rolling here. Let's see if I can actually get you pointed down to the sink. So let's get some hot water rolling here. So I'm going to clean up this stainless steel. So clean this up from the previous session. So I'm going to dump this dirty water out. Make sure I don't spill out any of this Southern Shine media. Now, in this tumbler, I went and replaced the stainless steel pins that came with this. I went and replaced all those pins with Southern Shine media. See if I can do this without dropping this glass jar of it. And all it is really fine stainless steel pellets. They're not pins. Do not use pins. They are notorious for getting stuck in the case mouth openings, especially 6.5 and 6mm bullet flavors. So I got this water marginally clean, and I'm going to dump my brass in here and set this off to the side. Now, if this was dirty, like once fired Lake City brass, I'd probably put some Lemmy Shine in there. Actually, I stopped using Lemmy Shine. I'm just using this Millard citric acid. That's really all Lemmy Shine is just citric acid. And I'm going to put a good solid squirt of Dawn in here. Not too much, but not too little. Like I said, if this was really dirty brass, I'd probably use Dawn plus citric acid, but being that it's new, I'm just going to use Dawn only. And I am going to fill this up with hot water. So always clean with hot water and rinse your brass with cold. Rinsing your brass with cold water will help it from tarnishing. So not all the way full, but damn near. And get this tightened up. Put this back on the tumbler. We're going to get all this lube back off. And after this has been through, being that this is brand new brass, I really don't need to excessively wash this. It's probably, no joke, less than 30 minutes. I'm going to get this out of the wet tumbler and onto the Lyman Cyclone case dryer for roughly maybe a little over 2 hours, and get that brass dry so I can get that brass back out of the dryer here and move on to the next step of finishing brass prep, of trimming brass, uniform and primer pockets, chamfer to burr the case mouth openings, and other good stuff like that. But non-inspector is in the house just saying hello, peeps. And like I said, if you got any questions or concerns, make yourself known. I'll try to answer those. Otherwise, I'm probably going to wrap this up. But yeah, I'm getting to the tail end of my vacation here. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos, especially these live videos, where we can kind of interact together, because that's where we are going to learn. And you can pass this knowledge on to the next generation. So I'm going to get this set for roughly 25-30 minutes. That's what's nice about that Frankfurt Arsenal rotary stainless steel tumbler. It's got a timer on it, and I can kind of set it, forget it, come back and take that out, put on the Lyman Cyclone paste dryer and dry that brass so I can move on to the next step. Otherwise, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, scratch my back, and I'll continue to scratch your back with this amazing content by not only subscribe, like, and share. Hit that notification bell. If you hit notification, make sure you hit notification all. Become a Patreon. It helps out more than you know, and I will see you guys in the next video.